The Good Friday Psalm, Psalm 22. My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from helping me and from the words of my groaning? O my God, I cry by day, but you do not answer, and by night, but find no rest. Yet you are holy, enthroned on the praises of Israel. In you our ancestors trusted. They trusted and you delivered them. To you they cried and were saved. In you they trusted and were not put to shame. But I am a worm and not human, scorned by others and despised by the people. All who see me mock at me, they make mouths at me, they shake their heads. Commit your cause to the Lord, let him deliver, let him rescue the one in whom he delights. Yet it was you who took me from the womb. You kept me safe on my mother's breast. On you I was cast from my birth, and since my mother bore me, you have been my God. Do not be far from me, for trouble is near, and there is no one to help. We stay together. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. The Good Friday Gospel, the Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 27. Early in the morning, all the chief priests and the elders of the people made their plans how to have Jesus executed. So they bound him, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate the governor. When Judas, who had betrayed him, saw that Jesus was condemned, he was seized with remorse and returned the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and the elders. I have sinned, he said, for I have betrayed innocent blood. What is that to us? They replied. That is your responsibility. So Judas threw the money into the temple and left. And then he went away and hanged himself. The chief priests picked up the coins and said, "It is against the law to put this into the treasury, since it is blood money." So they decided to use the money to buy the potter's field as a burial place for foreigners. That is why it has been called the Field of Blood to this day. Then what was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet was fulfilled. They took the 30 pieces of silver, the price set on him by the people of Israel, and they used them to buy the potter's field, as the Lord commanded me. Meanwhile, Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" "You have said so," Jesus replied. When he was accused by the chief priests and the elders, he gave no answer. Then Pilate asked him, "Don't you hear the testimony they are bringing against you?" But Jesus made no reply, not even to a single charge, to the great amazement of the governor. Now it was the governor's custom at the festival to release a prisoner chosen by the crowd. At that time they had a well-known prisoner whose name was Jesus Barabbas. So when the crowd had gathered, Pilate asked them, "Which one do you want me to release to you, Jesus Barabbas, or Jesus who is called Messiah?" for he knew it was out of self-interest that they had handed Jesus over to him. While Pilate was sitting on the judge's seat, his wife sent him this message: "Don't have anything to do with that innocent man, for I have suffered a great deal today in a dream because of him." But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the crowd to ask for Barabbas and to have Jesus executed. "Which of the two do you want me to release to you?" asked the governor. "Barabbas," they answered. "What shall I do then with Jesus, who is called Messiah?" Pilate asked, and they all answered, "Crucify him." "Why? What crime has he committed?" asked Pilate. But they shouted all the louder, "Crucify him." When Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, but that instead an uproar was starting, he took water and washed his hands in front of the crowd. "I am innocent of this man's blood," he said. "It is your responsibility." All the people answered, "His blood is on us and on our children." And then he released Barabbas to them, but he had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the praetorium and gathered the whole company of soldiers around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and then twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on his head. They put a staff in his right hand. Then they knelt in front of him and mocked him. "Hail, King of the Jews," they said. They spit on him and took the staff and struck him on the head again and again. After they had mocked him, they took off the robe and put his own clothes on him, and then they led him away to crucify him. As they were going out, they met a man from Cyrene called Simon, and they forced him to carry the cross. They came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. There they offered Jesus wine to drink, mixed with gall, but after tasting it, he refused to drink. When they had crucified him, they divided up his clothes by casting lots, and sitting down, they kept watch over him there. Above his head, they placed the written charge against him: "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." 2 rebels were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, "You who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. Come down from the cross if you are the Son of God." In the same way, the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders mocked him. "He saved others," they said, "but he cannot save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him now if he wants him, for he said, 'I am the Son of God.'" In the same way, the rebels who were crucified with him heaped insults upon him. From noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came over all the land. About 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried in a loud voice, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" When some of those standing there heard this, they said, "He is calling Elijah." Immediately one of them ran and got a sponge and filled it with wine vinegar, put it on a staff, and offered it to Jesus to drink. The rest said, "Now leave him alone. Let us see if Elijah will come to save him." And when Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, he gave up his spirit. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, the rocks split, and the tombs broke open. The bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs after Jesus' resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared to many people. When the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and all that had happened, they were terrified and exclaimed, "Surely he was the Son of God." When I invite you to do so, will you say aloud the words, "Lord, have mercy upon us"? O my people, what have I done to you? How have I offended you? I brooded over the abyss, and with my words I called forth creation, but you have brooded on destruction and made the means of chaos. O my people, what have I done to you? How have I offended you? Answer me. Lord, have mercy upon us. I breathed life into your bodies and carried you tenderly in my arms, but you have armed yourself for war and breathed out threats of violence. O my people, what have I done to you? How have I offended you? Answer me. Lord, have mercy upon us. I made the desert blossom before you. I fed you with an open hand, but you have grasped the children's food and laid waste the fertile lands. O my people, what have I done to you? How have I offended you? Answer me. Lord, have mercy upon us. I abandoned my power like a garment, choosing your unprotected flesh, but you have robed yourself in privilege and chosen to despise the poor. O my people, what have I done to you? How have I offended you? Answer me. Lord, have mercy upon us. I would have gathered you to me as a lover and shown you the ways of peace, but you have desired security and would not surrender yourself. O my people, what have I done to you? How have I offended you? Answer me. Lord, have mercy upon us. I have torn the veil of my glory, transfiguring the earth, but you have disfigured my beauty and turned away your face. O my people, what have I done to you? How have I offended you? Answer me. Lord, have mercy upon us. I have laboured to deliver you, as a woman delights to give birth, but you have delighted in bloodshed and laboured to bereave the world. O my people, what have I done to you? How have I offended you? Answer me. Lord, have mercy upon us. I have followed you with the power of my spirit to seek truth and to heal the oppressed. But you have followed a lie and returned to your own comfort. O my people, what have I done to you? How have I offended you? Answer me. Lord, have mercy upon us. There it is, the ugly shape of beautiful wood, rough hewn by human hands. There it is, a tight shut tomb, a borrowed grave, sealed with stone and silence. There it is, Christ's broken body, shrouded in linen, clothed in darkness. And somewhere today stands his people, crying, though tired of crying, their eyes sore and bloodshot. They will not sleep tonight. And out in the streets, the children have stopped their playing, the sound of music has gone sour, and even the unlikely folk fidget and wonder. And here are we, murmuring, surely not, if only, counting the cost for once of our carelessness and our lovelessness. But now, dear friends, wherever you are today, be cheered by the prospect of a day when all shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well.